Action.
Hello, my name is Matthew Ramondi. Today, I'll be reading a BBC article by Melissa Hagenboom titled, "Keeping Orcas in Aquariums Deprives Them of Crucial Aspects of Their Lives, and in some cases, it can even prove dangerous to humans." Let's begin. It is finally time to stop keeping orcas in captivity. For the past few years, there has been a torrent of stories of captive orcas suffering severe health problems, and in some cases attacking and even killing their trainers. Many of these stories have focused on an orca called Tilcum, who lives at the SeaWorld Orlando in Florida. Tilcum has been involved in 3 deaths during his time in captivity. SeaWorld has announced that Tilcum's health appears to be deteriorating, possibly due to a bacterial infection in his lungs. In response, conservation groups are once again calling for an end of practice of keeping orcas and other large mammals in captivity. Are they right? Captive orcas have long been a controversial subject, but an incident in 2010 dragged them right into limelight. In front of a crowd of visitors, Tilcum dragged his trainer, Dawn Brunshore, under the water and killed her. He has previously been part of a group of 3 orcas that drowned a trainer. In 1991 and 1999, he apparently drowned a man who was trespassing in the park. The 2010 killing initially sparked headlines around the world, expressing shock and calling for Tilcum to be put down. But others, especially marine mammal scientists, were not only sympathetic for Tilcum, they blamed his keepers. The 2013 documentary, Blackfish, argued that his violent outbursts were directly brought on the stressful conditions of his captivity. In line with this, several decades of observation show that orcas are not naturally violent towards humans. These are no recorded cases of wild killing of a human. In captive, we force this artificial proximity to human beings, so the orcas do not act out and once in a while kill you, says marine mammal scientist Naomi Rose of the Animal Welfare Institute in Washington, D.C. There are too large to be kept in captivity. Orcas are also known as killer whales, but they are actually dolphins, not whales. Although both whales and dolphins, along being in the same group, the same to oceans, the practice of taking them into captivity only started in the 1960s. Orcas were caught as juveniles and moved into tanks, ready to be trained to perform tricks and now entertainment. Clearly, living in captivity is far from the orca's natural world. Many researchers now argue that captivity does not come close to addressing their main needs. To start with, consider the vastness of their natural habitat, the ocean. These are animals that coordinate their movements over scales of tenths of kilometers. It's difficult to replicate that in any aquarium, says a conservation biologist, Rob Williams, at Ocean Intensive in Seattle, Washington. Many orcas travel over 100 kilometers, or 62 miles, every day. We do not quite know how far they travel in any given year. We are starting to find out. One team logged a group of orcas that discovered they frequently travel all the way from the Antarctic Peninsula to Brazil and back again. At one point, they traveled non-stop for 42 days, covered over 9,400 kilometers, or 5,075 miles. That big animal needs habitats to match it, obviously. What is less clear at first glance is how sociable orcas are. Regardless of whether they were born into captivity and know nothing different, or where they were caught when they were young, these orcas cannot live the way their wild counterparts do. They cannot behave in the natural ways they have evolved, says Rose. In conclusion, whales should not be held in captivity due to their wild habitat being vastly different. So think about it. Is it worth your entertainment? The lives of whales? Thank you.